Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
Eric, it's okay.
It's
okay.
Ma, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Oh, not again.
Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
So your girl whispers in your ear that she's got some very special plans for your birthday, and you're like, oh yeah, all day your mind is just fired up, hot with the fever of the growing anticipation of what's in store. And when you get home from work, you boldly strip off all your clothes, confidently stride into your house, and click on the light. And there's your girlfriend, and your parents, and her parents, and your grandparents, all your co-workers, and Dick Van Dyke, because your girl had some connections and was able to arrange for your childhood hero to make an appearance on your birthday. Hollywood just kind of did the exact same thing, exposing their vapid arrogance for all the world to see.
Bastards finally virtue signaled too close to the sun.
Yeah, right. If there's one thing Hollywood's known for, especially lately, it's having no functioning concept of reality.
Like Gal Gadot's vulgar imagine cluster snafu.
Yeah, nothing quite like rubbing your privilege into the faces of those less fortunate during COVID. So we've all been keenly aware of the Academy's distortion bubble, even like a quarter of a century ago, seeing films like Shakespeare in Love beating out Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture. Now, which one of those is still talked about today?
Even if there are halfway decent films like Parasite or Shape of Water, you don't feel the need to ever see them again.
Right, they're completely forgettable, and that's just part of the two-pronged problem Hollywood has had lately. One, they've driven away the true creatives, leaving lackluster, forgettable films like La La Land that are the best of a pretty mid-output. And two, the virtue signaling obsession with checkboxes.
This carpet is a person with feelings.
It's the latter issue that brings us to the horrendous carnival ride accident, Emila Perez, a film so objectively terrible that you find yourself desperately looking through the credits for Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, it's hard! Oh, it's actually not hard. That's acting, baby.
Actually, to be fair to Tommy, The Room is a far better movie.
Right, you are, Doge, but this breathtakingly dreadful picture goes far beyond just being bad. It's outright evil. I definitely would have included it in this video I made a little while ago about how Hollywood has been on a crusade to redefine what evil is, as this fecal fest fits the profile perfectly. Allow me to illustrate. The film follows a brutal, murderous Hispanic crime lord who enlists the help of a lawyer, played by the best part of the movie, Zoe Saldana. He wants her help to fake his death and go off to Pontiac Trans Am into a woman.
Pontiac what?
Oh, just more of that tasty censorship, my tailless friend. Gotta watch those trigger words. Emila is played by Carla Sofia Gascon, who in real life was a telenovela star who Pontiac Trans Am'd into a woman. 4 years later, the murderous kingpin contacts Saldana again to help him re-enter his ex-wife's life for the Mrs. Doubtfire portion of the movie. Now, on the very, very surface, giving you an overview like that, nothing really seems overtly amiss. The evil component really seeps in under the implication that this character's supposed redemption arc essentially hinges on his toxic masculinity being literally surgically removed.
No wonder Hollywood pounced on this.
Pounced? They did. They were so obsessed with the checkboxes, they didn't bother to vet the film any further than that.
In other words, watch it.
Right, exactly. So, on top of the horrible acting and revolting music...
Excuse me, music?
Yeah, it's a musical too, on top of everything else.
Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
It's an atonal, joyless mess that gives you the impression that someone saw Hamilton and arrogantly said, "Hold my tequila, I can be a Lin-Manuel too."
Is this a Saturday Night Live routine?
Unfortunately, that's kind of a fair question because it kind of gives off that vibe when you're watching it, but no. So this travesty would have gone completely unnoticed for obvious reasons until the Academy gave it not one, not three, but 13 Oscar nominations, including Best Film, Best Actress, And it would be the first for a Pontiac Trans Am because they definitely wanted to virtue signal that checkbox. For context, Lawrence of Arabia, Braveheart, and The Sound of Music had 10 nominations. The original West Side Story, Amadeus, and The Godfather Part 2 had 11 nominations. My Fair Lady, Gladiator, and Schindler's List had 12 nominations. Mary Poppins, Gone with the Wind, From Here to Eternity, and The Fellowship of the Ring had 13 nominations. Titanic, 14. I could go on. So as far as the Academy is concerned, Emila Perez is a landmark film on par with Gone with the Wind. So then, of course, that's when the backlash started. First, we have a French movie about a Mexican cartel, so there's some huge authenticity problems, starting with the fact that the accents are all over the place. The Latino community has come out against it. The alphabet community has come out against it. GLAAD has even come out against it. And then we come to the star, Carla Sofia Gascon. Old tweets have come to light,
As is tradition.
revealing racism, Islamophobia, slamming George Floyd, not to mention, ironically enough, criticizing the Oscars themselves for too much diversity and calling it an ugly, ugly gala.
These are horrible. I can't put these tweets on screen.
Of course, also keeping in line with tradition, Gascon has deactivated her X account. Zoe has distanced herself from all of this while trying to keep her Oscar nomination intact. The French director of the film distanced himself from Gascon, telling Deadline in an interview that he's not spoken to her since the controversy began. I've not spoken to her, and I don't want to. She's in a very self-destructive approach that I can't interfere in. I'm not getting in touch with her because right now she needs space to reflect and take accountability for her actions.
Ironic.
That's an incredibly ironic thing to say when the main character of the film does not take accountability for their actions. In this case, the murder of hundreds or maybe thousands of people. Netflix, the ones primarily responsible for pushing this film in the first place, have backed way off, even barring Gascon from any press junkets or promotions. Probably won't even see her at the Oscars. But to wrap up the nonsensical plot, since the writers don't have the skills to wrap this up narratively, everyone just kind of dies in a car accident at the end, and Emila Perez is deified to Virgin Mary status.
All this vapid virtue signaling is going to make me burn a hole in the carpet after I talk out the acid biscuit I'm baking.
It's official. The Oscars have nominated a film 13 times that is so relentlessly bad, boring, tedious, morally bankrupt that the thesaurus on my desk is insufficient to the task of describing the sheer magnitude of this travesty. It is so bad, I'm sure Mystery Science Theater wouldn't touch it with any kind of pole.
Sorry, folks, we busted our rating system. It's underneath the acolyte.
Only two vital questions remain. What's going to happen on Oscar night with this thing? And secondly, is this lesson going to be strong enough for the Academy? Are they finally going to get it? Now, I am not implying that anything unsavory happened behind the scenes, but a garbage film getting 13 nominations smells an awful lot like those Chiefs refs rumors that we had to put up with this past football season. But what do you think? Did you want to watch this? Don't. Let us know in the comments and stay fresh, cheese bags.